awful lot of fighters in the UFC that Ben Askren could beat 99 out of 100 fights, many of them in the top of that division. So I just think it's disingenuous. If you're going to say, hey, you know what, some of the greatest fighters in the world don't fight here, but we really have no interest in Ben Askren, so be it, that's fine. I would have respect for that comment, but the other one's just ridiculous and disingenuous. It's not a, it's a, you know, it's a silly comment to make. The guy's really, really good. We made a business decision based on revenue versus expense and his perception of his value in the marketplace versus our perception of that value and what he could do with his company, and decided to pass after making a series of offers to him. But don't sit back and say the greatest fighters in the world fight here and the across the board number 6 guy in the world becomes available and you don't offer him anything? Come on.
So last question about this, Haspalayev. You said he had visa issues.
Yeah.
He didn't sound confident he would fight with you guys again.
Well, I think he eventually will. It's just he's run into some really substantial visa issues.
So they're serious?
Yeah, they're serious visa issues, like was put on list where he literally can't get into the country.
Wow.
Which is troublesome. I mean, he's a good dude and he's a wickedly talented fighter. But we've got to work. We've got visa attorneys working on it with his team. I just at this moment.
Is there any sense of ballpark timeline? Just ballpark.
If you've ever dealt with visa issues, especially in today's world, it is a disaster area. It is one of the. It's like it would be like trying to go to the DMV if the DMV didn't speak English and all you spoke was English. It's a troubled area of like law and getting things cleared out. You'd think there'd be somebody to call and you could go, no, you know, ABCD. But you say ABCD and they respond in like Mandarin Chinese. So it's a difficult area to get fixed. Right now, it's not any closer to getting fixed than it was months and months ago when we learned about it. And we've got a crazy talented visa attorney who's been working on it. So right now he's not in the plans, and we're just waiting.
Thanks, Bjorn.
Can you compare this Atlantic City atmosphere to your previous shows up and down the boardwalk?
Oh, this was crazy. I mean, this was the best. This was the best reaction that we've had since we started playing AC, and we played AC for a lot of years. I mean, we've been doing shows here forever, but this was a crazy environment, big energy, big packed house. I don't know if there were any tickets left at the end of the night, but I know we were close to a sellout when we came into it, like 3 o'clock this afternoon. So it was great. This place is awesome, and it just looks so good on TV because it's all elevated and it goes up at such a steep angle that when you're shooting off the main cameras, it looks like you're playing in a fishbowl. It was great. It was powerful and great. I can't wait to come back here.
You assume Rampage had a lot to do with the atmosphere tonight?
I don't think he heard it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Quentin Rampage Jackson. He's back in shape and knocking people out. So, yeah, I thought he had a lot to do with it. I thought it was a great card, but, you put Rampage on a card anywhere, and it's going to impact the numbers and the interest and the press and everything. He's a superstar. So it was good impact.
How do you crown a new welterweight champion right now? Is Lima the only one on tap?
Lima fights a winner of Hahn versus Kessler. Hahn versus Kessler takes place next week. The winner of Hahn Kessler fights Lima, and then that'll be our next welterweight champion.
And then one more thing: if Patricio Pitbull cannot get a championship fight, say within 3 months, and then he has to wait till summer to get a shot because somebody else is ahead of him. Could you get him a super fight, or how do you keep him busy?
I don't know. He's fought 3 times now in a 3-month period. So look, right now he can take a break.
Well, he told me that he would rather take a fight than wait half a year, and he also said he would only fight in Bellator.
Yeah, of course. But I don't. That's a good question. I mean, look, the reality is that fighting 3. My goal is to always be able to put guys in a position where they can fight at least 3 times a year. He's fought 3 times this year, and my assumption is that he will fight at least once more and maybe twice before the full 12-month period is up. So he may have to wait. If we decide to do a Strauss-Curran rematch, he may have to wait for that to take place and then maybe 3 months later defend, so it would be 6 months off instead of, so we'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Or he may face Strauss right out of the box.
Okay.
I got one question for you.
Shoot.
You guys are known for taking care of your fighters, being a pretty positive organization, and kind of a breath of fresh air in the MMA community. How, now that you guys are getting so big and kind of becoming competition on the block, how do you guys stay away from that kind of grudge matching and negative marketing, I guess?
I don't know. Look, the negative twist and the negative spin on things has really never been my play. It's not part of my personality. I mean, I'm not a wilting flower, but it's just not part of, you won't see me sit up here and go on 15-minute, profanity-laden rants where I call everybody a D-bag and stuff like that. It's just not who I am. It's just not what I do. So So I don't know. Look, I'm much more interested in talking about the numbers, because the one thing about the numbers is that they never lie. So if you're doing better ratings than somebody on a consistent basis, event in and event out, that that's backup. Calling somebody names and trying to demean them backward and forward, what does that accomplish? I did that when I was 9 and I stopped doing it. You know what I mean? It's about the numbers, and where the numbers are right now brings a huge smile to my face.
So are you trying to avoid that with selling fights? Other organizations kind of use the whole grudge thing. Rampage has done that in the past with the UFC. Is that something you're trying to avoid? Or
I mean, I think when fighters have got a legitimate grudge, or when fighters don't like each other, I mean, that was one of the hardest things about promoting Rampage versus Tito, is they're just such good buddies. I kept like, can't you guys have any disdain for each other? And we're like, no, we've been boys forever. So, when guys honestly don't like each other, then that's an interesting aspect, a twist on a fight. A lot of our guys are just gentlemen, and this is their career, and they put their health and safety on the line to go do it. And then when the fight ends, they give each other a hug and thank each other for the great opportunity. So when it comes up and guys just have disdain and dislike for each other, we'll promote that, because it's a good angle to a fight. But we never try to create it when it isn't there. If it is there, it's cool, and if it's not there, John Copenhaver gives you that in almost every fight, because it's his nature. But very few of our guys do. But some guys fuel off of it, and good for them. It gives you something to spin.
yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
What?